Welcome to Aspire to Lead, where we empower educators and school leaders to grow, inspire, and thrive. I'm your host, Joshua Stamper, author, speaker, and leadership coach, bringing you conversations that spark transformation, challenge the status quo in education, and equip you to make a lasting impact on your campus or in your district. For more information and resources, visit joshstamper.com as we're looking to ascend to new leadership heights together. All right, welcome back. This is the last episode of this 5-part Aspiring Leaders series. If this episode resonated with you or helped in some way, I want you to shoot me a message or leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube, letting me know that you like future series and this was extremely helpful for you. In addition, if you know any other aspiring leaders that are needing help navigating this difficult journey, I would love for you to send them a link to this podcast series. Now, today's episode is going to be from reflection to action. You have reflected on your experiences, identified the people in your corner, clarified your leadership identity, and named the gaps you still need to fill in the previous episodes. So you're probably wondering, what on earth is next? The difference between an aspiring leader and a leader who is actively preparing for the next role is often not talent, intelligence, or desire. It's an intentional action, which we're going to build out today. If you had an opportunity to read my book, Aspire to Lead, you know that ASPIRE is actually an acronym that is the construct of helping leaders through this difficult time. Now, ASPIRE is activate, support, persevere, identity, reflect, and execution. Today, we're going to be talking about that last one, which is the execution and creating a plan to make sure that we're getting to the goal that we're seeking. Over the last 4 episodes, we've worked through the foundation of an intentional leadership journey. And just to recap real quick, episode 1 was helping you identify the leadership experiences you've already done. Episode 2 is challenging you to consider who is in your corner and what relationships you need to build in the future. Episode 3 is helping you define your leadership identity, your values, your mission, and your vision. Episode 4 was focused on the experiences you still need to gain for this upcoming school year. Today, we're taking all that work and turning it into a practical plan for you. Now, in the past episodes, I've talked about common challenges or quote unquote pitfalls. And so I just want to talk through that real quick as you may be stuck after the reflection stage in this ASPIRE acronym. So maybe you've gathered information, but you don't know what the next action is to take. Maybe you've set goals that are too broad, or maybe they're overwhelming. Maybe you're waiting for the perfect opportunity instead of just taking the next available step. Maybe it's you're trying to grow alone without any support or accountability. It could be that we are just saying yes to everything, taking on way too many responsibilities, and losing focus on the experiences that actually move the needle to your own specific leadership goal. And maybe it's just an assumption that hard work alone will automatically be noticed by your admin in your district for you to get the promotion that you're seeking. I want you to know the goal is not to do everything this year. The goal is to take the right next steps, stay consistent, and intentionally build evidence on your readiness for leadership. So let's build a 4-part leadership action plan real quick, based on the concepts that we have talked about in previous episodes. So hopefully you have your notes out. I want you to build this plan. The first one is I want you to choose your focus. In episode 4, we talked about priority areas that you're trying to improve on versus just looking at absolutely everything. So some of the possible focus areas that we discussed was instructional leadership, student support and discipline, staff development and human capital, school culture and family engagement, operations and systems, district involvement, and we didn't talk about this one, but I want to add it, is interview preparation. So what is one area that would make the biggest difference in your readiness for a future leadership role? So I want you to write that down. Next thing is I want you to choose one experience. So once you've identified your focus area, now I want to challenge you to identify one experience that you can help pursue and what is going to be a meaningful leadership story that you can possess when it is time to interview. Third thing is I want you to choose one relationship. So identify one person that can help you move forward this school year. This could be a principal, an assistant principal, a district leader, an instructional coach. Maybe it's a mentor that's not even on your campus. Maybe it's in a neighboring district. Maybe it's a colleague who has strengths in the areas that you want to develop and that you've put on this plan. So who do you need to talk to, learn from, or ask for feedback this month? Because I want this to be an action plan that is done as soon as the school year has begun. Then I want you to choose one accountability structure. This is the 4th one in our action plan. So good intentions are not good enough. Leaders need a system for following through. Some possible options for accountability structures is maybe a monthly check-in with a mentor, maybe a leadership journal, an accountability partner, a calendar reminder to review your goals or take next steps, a peer group, or a leadership cohort similar to what I built with the Aspire to Lead cohort. So how will you make sure this goal does not get lost when the school year gets busy? And maybe you're saying, too late, it already is busy, which I totally understand. But we need to make sure that we have accountability and something that's going to help us move along throughout the school year, because again, we can't do this work in isolation. Real quick, I'm going to provide a 30-day action challenge for you. It's a simple plan. I know things get crazy. You have a lot on your plate. And so I want to simply break this down into 4 weeks of things that you can do based on the plan that you just constructed. So week 1, whenever you decide to start the 30-day action challenge, I want you to choose your leadership focus area and write down one specific goal or experience that you want to do. Week 2, I want you to reach out to a leader, mentor, or supervisor to ask for guidance or an opportunity that you're seeking. Week 3, I want you to take action by volunteering, observing, supporting, or leading something connected to the goal that you constructed in week 1. Week 4, I want you to reflect on what you've learned, document the experience, and identify your next steps and the things that you need to do to get more experience. Now, for myself, when I first became an aspiring leader, I got to a point where I just was fed up of waiting, and I definitely wanted to be noticed. And so I had a conversation with my current principal. She was a veteran principal, a veteran educator, and to be honest, every time I was around her, I got extremely nervous. She had a strong aura about her and a presence. And when I had this one conversation, the whole goal was to ask her to be my mentor. I knew if I had her support and her in my corner that I'd have doors opened that I had yet seen open for myself. It's a risky conversation because I opened it up by telling her that I was extremely intimidated by her. I'd love to say that was a great strategy. However, the shock in her face made me sweat even more and realize that maybe I had made a terrible mistake. I quickly then shared that I had been given advice from another teacher to just put my head down and not be noticed by admin, and specifically from her. I told her that she did have a strong presence and that for myself, I just didn't know how to interact with her. After I explained myself, the guard came down, a smile was presented on her face. And then we had a beautiful conversation afterwards where she agreed to be my mentor. And she was a huge piece to my leadership journey and someone that I am so thankful for. So shout out to Ann Aston, as she was someone that gave me that opportunity to be side by side with her, where she showed me a roadmap, gave me opportunities. She was extremely inviting and someone that helped me grow immensely. So I grew in my leadership because I started to take intentional steps, learning from each experience, but again, surrounding myself with people who wanted to see growth in me and giving me every leadership experience possible. So today I want to have a reflection activity like I've done in previous episodes, and I want you just to think through some of these statements. So my next leadership goal is blank. The experience I need to gain is blank. The person I need to connect with is blank. The connection I will take in the next 7 days is blank. The way I will hold myself accountable is blank. Whatever you've written for these 5 prompts in this reflection activity, I just want to encourage you to put this somewhere that's visible. Maybe it's the 30-day plan. Maybe it's the 4-part action plan that we just constructed. Whatever it is that's going to be helpful, I want you to put it somewhere that you're going to see it. I don't want it just to stay in a note app or put it in a notebook buried somewhere for it to easily be forgotten. The goal is that it appears in front of you daily and it becomes a visible commitment for you. If you're seeking additional support for your advancement in your organization, on your campus, or in your district, the Aspire to Lead cohort is designed for you. For teacher leaders, department heads, aspiring administrators, new administrators, and professionals who want to advance their career and create meaningful change. Each member receives structured development, live meetings, peer support, a resource library, accountability, and a career-focused guidance. If you're listening to this series and thought, I don't want to do this alone anymore, or I don't want to have this mystery of how to get to the next position, or maybe it's I just need additional coaching and support from someone outside of the people on my campus, this is your invitation. The first 5 people that join by August 31st receive the founding member rate, which I'm opening up, and it's 55% off of the total cost. And that's the lifetime rate for as long as you're part of the cohort. This rate, though, is limited because the cohort is intentionally kept small, so members can build genuine relationships and receive meaningful support from myself and from others in the cohort. So I want you to act quickly. Before you move on with your day and head into the weekend, let's talk about your action steps. I want you to do one of these things today. If you haven't downloaded the Leadership Inventory Reflection, which was in episode 1, I'll make sure that link is in the show notes. But if you haven't done that reflection, it's incredibly impactful and something that doesn't take much time. I would love for you to download that and write out the experiences that you've already done previously in your leadership journey. Or you can write your 30-day leadership plan today. Or you can ask your admin team for the experiences that you need next. Maybe it's sending a message to a principal or an AP to mentor you for the school year. Or lastly, maybe it's just, you know what? I don't want to do this alone anymore. I want to join the Spider League cohort. You don't have to do everything on this list today. Again, it's just to take the next intentional step. If you're ready to stop working hard without a clear plan and you want to start building your leadership experiences, relationships, confidence, accountability, then let's move forward by visiting joshtamber.com/leadership-cohorts. Again, that link will give you some additional information on the Aspire to Lead cohort, because I would absolutely love for you to join and be a part of this beautiful community that will support you as you turn your leadership goals into real action. Just remember, this work is not easy. You're doing amazing things, and you're going to make a huge impact if you take action on what we built today. Again, I hope this series was beneficial for you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you joining me for the last 5 days. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're going to go back to our regular scheduled Aspire to Lead interviews. And my next interview will be with my dear friend, CJ Reynolds, who's out in New Mexico. He's a phenomenal author, speaker, leader, and just overall good person. So tune in for that. I know you're going to get a ton of information and wisdom from him. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.
This podcast is a proud member of the Teach Better Podcast Network. Better today, better tomorrow, and the podcast to get you there. Explore more podcasts at www.teachbetterpodcastnetwork.com. We'll see you on the next episode.